Hi everyone. We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk to you about how you can make money welding. Whether you decide to start your own business and make it your full-time career, or just a hobby turned into a side hustle. I want to touch on some of the career paths that you may or may not be aware of, and also touch on some of the side hustle ideas. So I will give you a little background as to how I got to be a welder full-time. I went to college thinking, well, that I had to. I was going for mechanical engineering because I always enjoyed building things as a kid. I always found myself taking things apart and either repurposing them or rebuilding them with or without my parents' approval. After spending a year in college, I realized that this wasn't for me. I didn't want to be part of the design process. I wanted to be the guy getting his hands dirty. I had a passion for the aftermarket automotive world and still do. I left college and took a year exploring new things. I was a shop hand at a vintage auto restoration shop. I became a salesperson, even though I spent more time in the mechanic shop than I did on the sales floor. And even on an assembly line building truck bodies. None of them really spoke to me, but one detail did stand out. Welding. I was fascinated. So I started taking welding courses at a local community college. And while doing that, I figured I would look into doing an apprenticeship with a local shop. I was ideally looking for a fabrication shop, someone who built cars or parts, but I was willing to take any experience, so I applied to everywhere nearby. I had a few decent offers. Some were part-time apprenticeships and others were full-time jobs, but again, another one stood out to me. It was for a mechanical contractor who worked for the major oil companies doing pipeline work, usually repairs or cutouts or even new lines and tanks. They explained to me how the welding industry works in their business and offered to take me full-time at an hourly rate that was much higher than I anticipated, especially for an 18-year-old with no experience. The catch was that I'd have to travel, but they would teach me to pipe weld. I figured, well, I have nothing to lose. And with that, started my career and made me what I am today. It was a grueling, tiring, and sometimes just downright dreadful. But it certainly paid off, and I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. So I get the same question from younger adults that want to get into welding. How do I start where you did? And my answer is the same every time. Don't. Angle that I took getting into the welding industry is not the best way at all. I was thrown to the wolves. I had great mentors watching me, but I went in with not even the slightest clue of what I was doing. I didn't even know what a 60-10 rod was. It really was an uphill battle for me. I had a lot to learn in a short amount of time. So if you want a career in this industry, such as pipe welding, structural, custom fabrication, or otherwise, start with some research. Learn which angle you want to take welding because there are almost an infinite amount of possibilities. And if you are not sure where to go or what exactly you want to do, that's okay too. Your best bet is to look for a way to get into the industry, however it may be. Co-ops, apprenticeships, even starting as a labor hand and watching, just get in there. So let's jump and talk about where to get started. And the most universal way to start your welding career is schooling. You can take courses and follow programs in most community colleges, trade schools, or even some universities. Universal Technical Institute just came out with a welding program themselves. These opportunities give you the chance to explore the career possibilities while having instructors guide you through the process. There is some trade schools that offer specific programs geared to certain career paths, such as pipe welding, automotive fabrication, sanitary pipe, underwater welding, and so on. The other option is joining a welders union, whether it's the pipeliners union, iron workers, steam fitters, utility workers, or others that I'm even unaware of. These halls usually provide you with the proper training and a plan to get you exactly where you want to go with the combination of classwork and field work. And the best part, they pay you. You are working while learning. Let's take a closer look and dissect these two paths that I mentioned. One side is a trade school path. The other side is a union path. Now I'm going to choose a specific denomination just for comparison's sake. So we're going to use pipe welding, of course. At a trade school, doing a general welding program, you will be exposed to a little bit of everything. You will get hands-on with the three common processes: GMAW, SMAW, and of course, GTAW. They will cover the basics of them and get you familiar and proficient with all three. You will also more than likely get some classroom work with weld symbols, welding inspection, non-destructive testing, and a little bit of metallurgy. Then, after usually 18 to 24 months worth of courses, you get a certificate. Now you need to find a job. This is where it starts to branch out. You can choose many different routes. For example, you can find a job at a fab shop if you'd like, or if you prefer to work in the elements, you can go to a mechanical contractor. You can also do construction companies, tool makers, and manufacturing. And of course, there is always the pipeline. However, no matter where you go, more than likely, you will be starting in polishing, grinding, as a welder's helper, assistants, apprentice, some position like that. Once you show your work ethic and do some learning and observing while you're there, and depending on what track your supervisor may have you on, you may be able to become a welder once you pass their weld test. But some will put you right in as a welder if you prove yourself, while others will require many years as a helper. Either way, you will have to practice for whatever it is that you're looking to get into. The options end up being endless. The other option is a union hall. When joining a welder's union, they will take you and teach you based on their curriculum. If you want to be a welder, they have a program where you will be a helper for so many years, have opportunities to practice in their facilities with guidance, and put you on the path to success. It may take a little longer to become a welder, but you will be much better educated and prepared for the specific line of work that the union hall is involved in. And that is the real difference. Plus, again, you're working while you learn, so you get paid. If you want any more details on union work and learning programs, you will have to go to your local union hall and ask them. They have all the details that you will need. So the difference between these two options is pretty clear. If you don't know what you want to do and you're just looking for some experience before you go and focus on a path, going to a trade school may help you decide. If you already do know what you want to do and what path you want to take, talk to a union rep or go to a trade school and figure out which path to take and then find the appropriate union hall. I'm sure there are many different learning opportunities out there, but these are the two most common that I see. So we talked about career paths. Now we're going to talk about actually making money via full-time business or side business. One thing you can do is start your own welding or fabrication business. I can't dive too deep into this subject because I don't have too much experience myself, but what I can tell you is do your research. Have a solid plan put together as to what exactly you want to do and how you are going to do it. Find out exactly what you need as far as insurance, zoning, tools, advertising, and so on. Now, in my area, what seems to be the most popular business is a mobile repair business. You can outfit a small trailer or your truck bed with toolboxes, clamps, a generator big enough to power a welder and all your tools, and advertise yourself to local farmers and landowners, and they will start to call you and fix their fences, tractors, tillers, plows, and all sorts of other things. You can also turn your garage into a small fab shop and make parts to order. Again, there are so many options to this. So let's say you're not looking to make this a full-time business, but you want to make it a side hustle, and you have a creative edge. Well, weld art has come back in a big way. People love this steampunk style sculptures and trinkets, and if you have the creative touch, you could take scrap pieces and make model cars, boats, or some sort of wall decoration or ornament, even trophies. There are welders that have made a living out of making trophies from scrap. It is possible. I've seen coffee tables, furniture, and even shelves. And the best part about this, you can set up a store on websites like Amazon, eBay, or Etsy and just sell by order. Well, as the saying goes, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The welding industry is just so widely spread out that I cannot possibly cover every option. But on my channel, The Average Welder, I will be putting a video up taking a much deeper dive into the welding industry and some of the options there are career-wise, because some of them aren't quite as obvious as we might think. And subscribe to the YesWelder YouTube channel and turn on that notification bell to see what it is that I'm working on next. So until then, I'll see you later.